Are you looking for your next TV? Let's find out which Sony TV is right for you. Hi guys, it's Jonathan from Smart Home Sounds here, a home audio retailer based in the UK, and today I'll be giving you guys a full Sony TV buying guide that aims to cut out the jargon and actually tell you which Sony TV out of their 2020 range you should be looking for in simple terms, whether you're into your games, sports, movies, etc. We're focusing on Sony today for those of you who have decided you want a Sony TV, but maybe aren't sure which model to go for. Admittedly, we were all a bit mystified about the number of models available in different screen sizes with varying features and multiple price points. But now, after lots of research and multiple training sessions with Sony, we're now in a position where we can really advise our customers what might suit them best. Many retailers unfortunately get a bad reputation for being biased and shoehorning you down a specific route, and this is something we really want to avoid. We've got a whole YouTube video dedicated to why we are starting with Sony, so feel free to check that out. We will be looking to add other brands going forward, and we will be doing more reviews featuring different TV models and brands, but we thought we'd kick things off with a buying guide for Sony's 2020 TV range. Now, this isn't going to be a super in-depth review of each TV in the lineup, but I will be going over the main differences that we think you should know between the models. Ultimately, this should give you enough information to make a more confident decision of which model that you should be considering. Feel free to skip forward to certain parts in the video, as we will put timestamps below, and subscribe for in-depth reviews which will be coming soon. I'll pop a QR code up on the screen which will take you to all of the Sony TVs that we'll cover in this video if you wanted to check them out. And as always, everything we cover will be linked below, or you can head to our website smarthomesounds.co.uk to view all these TVs there. Whoa, do we want a longer intro? So if we take a look at the Sony range, Sony model names always look complicated, but they can be split into different categories using a few of the letters and numbers in the model name. So just to give you an example, here we've got the KD75 XH80 96BU, which is obviously a bit of a mouthful. Straight away we can get rid of the KD at the start and the 96BU at the end, as they're not important. The 75 is the TV screen size in inches. X is the model class, which might also be an A or a Z. H is for the year the model was created, so H is 2020, G is 2019, etc. And finally, the 80 is the TV model number. So the higher this number, the better the model. The model numbers are slightly different here than in America. So for example, the XH95 we have here in the UK is called the X950H in the US, because of course us Brits always like to do things differently. So the 2020 range starts with the X70, which is their entry-level 4K HDR model, with screen sizes available from 43-inch to 65-inch. But we're going to start our comparison with the XH80 and the XH81, which is what Sony call their premium lineup. All models from here up benefit from the latest Android TV interface and all have the same speed processor to run the smart TV functions. This allows apps such as Netflix to launch 3 times faster than before. You also benefit from useful smart features like AirPlay or Google Assistant, and Sony have also just announced that they're rolling out a software update to add the latest Apple TV app to these models. So budget allowing, I would recommend starting your search at the XH81 or XH80, depending on the screen size you're after. I'll come on to that in a minute. Just before we start comparing the models, all prices mentioned will be full retail, so please do check our website for the latest up-to-date prices and offers. Okay, then let's start with the first model we have, which is the XH80, Sony's 4K HDR model with price ranges from $649 for the 43-inch model all the way up to the 85-inch model at $2199. But do note, with this particular model, certain screen sizes are only available at exclusive retailers. It's an LED screen with 4K HDR and Sony's new X1 processor. So before I get ahead of myself, let's break some of these terms down. You may have heard of LED before, but to briefly explain it, it's not responsible for the actual picture being shown, but rather the TV light and how bright the picture ends up being. In LED panels such as the XH80, XH81 and XH85, the bulbs are placed around the perimeter of the screen, and then they use a guide to distribute the light across the screen. They're called edge-lit because the TV is essentially illuminated from the edges. You can step up to full array or OLED models, which I will cover in a bit. When it comes to picture resolution, the more pixels you have, the more detailed the picture. So 4K results in a total of more than 8 million pixels, which is a big step up from 1080p screens, which only offer a quarter of the amount of the total pixels in 4K. And really, 4K is the minimum you want to be looking for on a TV these days. HDR stands for high dynamic range, and it's more of a photographic term to heighten the contrast between the brightest whites and the deepest blacks. So this has a big impact in making the picture seem as close to real life as possible, and again, this is something you'll definitely want on any modern TV. Then we have the X1 processor. Now, the processor in a TV is one of the most important elements of the quality of the picture you see on screen, and it's responsible for things like refresh rate, color richness, quality of the textures, and much more. Now, Sony have made a completely new processor for 2020, the X1, and from what we've seen, it does an extremely good job at handling even the most complex picture. Also in the XH80, you get Sony's X-Balance speaker system built in, with the same concept found in their wireless speakers. The idea is that the drivers are sort of egg-shaped, so it takes benefits from oval-shaped drivers and circular-shaped drivers and combine them into one. Of course, if you plan to have a soundbar though, that of course won't be an advantage to you. So what do you get when you step up to the XH81, which starts from $699 for the 43-inch up to $999 for the 65-inch? Well, not an awful lot actually. You get a more premium stand and their premium backlit remote, so whether those are important characteristics to you, we'll leave that down to you. The XH81 though is not available larger than 65-inch, so if you're looking for a larger sized LED TV, then go for the XH80. Next we have the XH85, which is Sony's best LED TV that's not full array, starting from $849 for the 43-inch but only goes up to 49-inch, which is available for $899. For the extra cash, first off you get an aluminium bezel, which gives the TV a much more premium finish. You get upgraded motion flow, so the clarity of motion is clearer again with less blur, which is great for gaming or sports fans. Also with the XH85 you get an HDMI eARC connection. Now, if you've watched any of our Sonos ARC soundbar reviews, you'll know what I'm talking about here, but essentially this is the most advanced HDMI connection on the market at the moment, and it supports a much higher bandwidth. So what does that mean to you and I? Well, it's a future-proof form of HDMI that can transmit high-quality audio from your TV to your soundbar or AVR, and that passes through uncompressed Dolby Atmos. Great if you intend to use a Dolby Atmos soundbar with your TV, such as the Sonos ARC, for example. Although the XH80 and 81 will both allow Atmos content to pass through their standard HDMI ARC connection, so the eARC is more of a future-proofing feature. You do actually lose the X-Balance speakers in the XH85, so I'd recommend using a soundbar with this model anyway. The Sony XH90 is a bit of a jump up from the XH85, offering a full array LED screen, a step up in sound performance with acoustic multi-audio, and better technology for picture quality with extended dynamic range and X-Motion clarity. So again, let's cover these terms in more detail. So full array LED screens differ from standard LED screens as they light zones of LEDs independently, which helps to offer a better level of contrast, making light areas lighter and dark areas darker. The XH90 is also the first in the range to offer local dimming, which helps to enhance those black levels. This is then combined with additional features including extended dynamic range and X-Motion clarity, which together enhance the luminosity of the LEDs to offer a brightness range which is 3 times wider than standard LED TVs. The combination of these technologies leads to an improved colour and contrast, and smoother, brighter and more blur-free shots, therefore making this TV better for sports and action sequences. The XH90 starts at $1099 and it's available in a large range of screen sizes, 55, 65, 75 and 85 inch. With a metal blade stand and narrow aluminium bezel, it offers a neat finish for a more immersive viewing experience. It's proved to be a pretty popular TV with reviews as well, so it's branded an excellent mid-range 4K TV by T3 and awarded the What Hi-Fi Award for Best 65-inch TV under £2,000 this year in 2020. This is actually the first TV in the range to offer a Netflix calibrated mode, and that means you can activate a preset in the settings to ensure the best picture settings are automatically selected when you're viewing Netflix content. So if you're a regular Netflix viewer, you might want to consider the XH90 or above to take advantage of this handy feature. This TV is also an option for gamers, and the HDR gaming is notably good. The XH90 would probably be one of our top Sony picks for gaming. However, I do have to admit it's not all gold stars, so the XH90 struggles a bit with the variable refresh rate, and while Sony are currently rolling out HDMI 2.1 features via firmware updates, which should improve that, we will need to do some proper testing to check how this compares with some of the best TVs out there for gaming. In general, I would say something like the LG OLED 48CX or 55CX are at the top of my list when it comes to gaming TVs, so you might want to check them out if that's your #1 priority. When it comes to sound, the XH90 is a step up from the XH85 with that acoustic multi-audio, although this isn't available in the 55-inch model. Acoustic multi-audio means this model has sound positioning tweeters on the side bezels of the TV, which offer more precisely controlled audio. This provides more accurate sound from the exact point it happens on the screen, which offers a more like-for-like reproduction of audio for a more immersive experience. I'd say for the average TV viewer, this would do the job, but I personally find the bass is lacking a bit, and I probably would look to add either a soundbar or soundbar and sub to enhance that audio performance. Now things really step up in the model above. The XH95 is Sony's flagship full-array LED, which we think offers the best value for money in Sony's entire range of LED TVs. It features Sony's X1 Ultimate processor, which is found in their top-of-the-range Master Series models, including their 8K models. It also offers crisper visuals and wider viewing angles thanks to X-wide angle technology. So the XH95 comes in the largest range of screen sizes with 49-inch up to 85-inch, starting at $999 up to $3,699 for that largest screen size. It has some slight cosmetic upgrades on the XH90 with a backlit remote, which is a nice extra, a flush surface and adjustable width stands, which is good if you've got a smaller TV unit to stand the TV on. Now as I said, the XH95 is a big step up again from the XH90, and that's primarily down to the processor, which has a huge influence on the picture quality. This Ultimate processor is twice as fast as the X1 processor found in all of the models below, and so that renders each object on the screen individually to offer a more clear and colour realistic image from any angle. The XH95 also offers Extended Dynamic Range Pro, which is a slight upgrade on the Extended Dynamic Range in the XH90 with 6 times the contrast. However, the other key feature to highlight is the extra wide viewing angle, which makes this TV great for placing in the corner of a room with a better viewing angle than you get with the majority of LED TVs. Colours are also adjusted to stay more true to life from whichever angle you're watching from. The next step up from the XH95 is into OLED territory with the A8, and this jump offers exceptional contrast, brightness and blur-free visuals. The A8 is actually the TV that we have sitting behind me. So we have demoed all of the TVs that I've mentioned up until now, but the A8 is our personal choice, so let's go on and head over to it now. So the A8 is the first OLED TV in the range, so let's quickly cover the advantages of OLED. So for us, OLED is the future for TVs going forward, offering a picture quality that is very difficult to replicate in LED screens. OLED screens make colours noticeably more vivid and most importantly offer true black levels. This is because the individual LEDs can be tailored to the needs of the pixel that they're lighting, offering a broader spectrum of colour and blacker blacks. Due to the longer and more complex manufacturing process of an OLED TV, these extra costs are often reflected in their price. Again, the A8 boasts that X1 Ultimate processor and the other great features found in the XH95. On top of those, it also offers a pixel contrast booster to take that OLED screen even further, ensuring 4K and HDR content is even more vivid and detailed. The A8 also offers an adjustable height stand, and that's a handy feature if you're considering placing a soundbar on the same TV unit. The other standout feature of the A8 is acoustic surface audio. Now this is another step up from acoustic multi-audio, and personally I was pretty blown away by this feature when we tested it in our office. Essentially, the sound emanates from the screen itself with 2 actuators which vibrate the TV imperceptibly, and a pair of subwoofers provide deep bass and a more dynamic sound overall. This works really effectively. Not only is the sound really realistic and comes from wherever the noise was made on the screen, but it's also a really high quality of audio performance. Just for context, my colleagues played a blind test on me to see if I'd believe that the TV was playing audio from its own internal speakers, disguised with a Sony soundbar sitting in front of it. And I genuinely thought it was coming from the soundbar, it was that good. For the real movie and music enthusiasts, I think you might still want to push it further with either a soundbar or some sort of surround setup, but I'd actually recommend getting this first and testing it out, as you'd be surprised just how well it performs. Now you are limited to 2 sizes with the A8, so you've got the 55-inch and the 65-inch. And while these are the most popular sizes out there, it would have been nice to see the full range of sizes available. So these start at 1699 for the 55-inch and a big jump up to 2599 for the 65-inch. I think if you're in the market for a 55 or 65-inch TV and can stretch your budget to access this level of performance, then these would be our top picks. They are a huge step up in quality without a crazy leap in price from the models before. One thing I would point out is the HDMI connections. It has 4 HDMI inputs, including HDMI eARC, which is at this price point a non-negotiable in new TV models to avoid latency with connected soundbars. However, like the XH95, it doesn't fully support HDMI 2.1, so you'll experience that lack of variable refresh rate. Sony would justify this as they don't see this specific TV as appealing to gamers, but rather film enthusiasts. So again, I'd maybe look at that LG OLED CX if that's what you're after. Right, so what's next? So the A9 is the first in the Master series from Sony, designed to bring the director or creator's ideas to life in your living room with extra calibration. I would say that the A9 is a bit of an anomaly in this lineup, as it's only available in the smaller screen size of 48-inch. It's very similar to the A8, being an OLED screen and featuring the same great features and that X1 Ultimate processor. For me, I'd only suggest this model if you wanted to experience OLED on a smaller scale and had a room suited for a 48-inch TV. The Sony AG9 is also in the Master series and was actually one of Sony's best-selling OLEDs of 2019, so they've decided to continue it for 2020. One of the main advantages of this model is the large screen size option, so on top of a 55 and 65-inch option, you've also got the choice of a 77-inch screen for those wanting even bigger. Now, another benefit of opting for this model is the sound performance. So the AG9 offers Acoustic Surface Audio Plus. So this is the same as the A8, where the screen is the speaker, but the differentiator is the AG9 utilizes an additional subwoofer to offer deeper bass. Another great audio feature is that the AG9 can act as a center speaker as part of a wider full surround setup. So this will help to bring out the vocals or dialogue with a better level of clarity, and also means you can pair up with a set of floor standers either side of the TV to create a more immersive audio experience. And we're finally on to the last TV in the Sony 2020 lineup, the ZH8. Now this reverts back to a full array LED technology, but does offer support for 8K. Again, this just takes things that bit further, pushing the processor and screen to the max. So like 4K, 8K refers to the resolution of the TV, and it essentially offers a higher resolution than 4K with 4 times the number of pixels, and that's 16 times that of a 1080p TV. For the viewer, this means your picture will be a lot sharper and more detailed, and it's the very best picture quality available at this moment in time. Now, there isn't a lot of 8K support available currently, but the sweetener is that the ZH8 will upscale your 2K or 4K content for the 8K panel, which should add a bit of extra detail and clarity, bringing it closer to 8K resolution. The ZH8 does this using 8K X-Reality Pro technology and a unique 8K database, and it individually optimizes the resolution of each subject on the screen using object-based super resolution technology. Now this makes everything look more realistic and reproduces real-world textures. Another benefit of opting for the ZH8 is an improvement to the audio performance. It also uses acoustic multi-audio, but this model includes a vibrating frame tweeter, which can follow the action to further improve the immersion. Now, more 8K content will come, like it did with 4K, but I'd only really recommend this TV if you're looking for the very best available and you want to future-proof yourself going forwards. They are very expensive and just not really necessary for the majority of TV buyers these days, and I do think it'll be a couple of years before I'd consider one personally. I'll also just point out that you'll also need at least HDMI 2.1 for 8K content. So that's the end of the TV section. Now, I have highlighted some of the audio potential in these TVs, but there are going to be a lot of you watching who might already own a soundbar or home sound system, or are looking to invest in one and want to know which we'd recommend and which are compatible. First and foremost, all of the Sony TVs we've covered today will pass through Dolby Atmos, and that's crucial to point out, as only the XH85 and above offer an eARC connection. That means no matter what TV you go for in this range, you'll be able to enjoy Dolby Atmos content in some way. So Sony do their own soundbars, which we do stock on our site, such as the XH8500 2.1 soundbar with an inbuilt subwoofer for $299, and the G700, they're really hard to say, 3.1 system for $399. We will be doing a video on these at some point, but the Sony soundbars are a good option if you're looking for a simple way of boosting the sound quality from your TV. If we are speaking generally, Sony soundbars are loaded with features such as DTS, Atmos, Bluetooth 5.0 connectivity, and lots more. We would certainly recommend the G700 3.1 system, as this comes with a separate subwoofer and Atmos support and affordable price point. Some other options you could consider would be the Sonos Beam, also for $399, as this unlocks a much more robust multi-room system, and it's a little bit clearer on the vocals as well. If you can stretch to the Sonos ARC for $799, you'll also get Atmos support on top of that, with dedicated upwards firing drivers for a fully immersive listening experience. If you want to avoid the soundbar approach, you could use an AV receiver and wire some bookshelf or floor standing speakers for a bespoke home cinema experience. Now, you may be comparing some of these Sony TV models to other brands out there like Samsung or LG. We will be doing more in-depth videos with some comparisons and delve into the models in a lot more detail very soon. So let us know in the comments what you'd like to see. If you're looking to upgrade your TV or your audio setup, then do check us out online at smarthomesounds.co.uk. We are an official Sony retailer, as well as other brands such as Sonos and Bowers & Wilkins, to name a few. We've spent a lot of time getting to know these TVs, so if you're after some more personal advice or have any questions, then don't hesitate to get in touch for a chat. We're always more than happy to help. We do offer free delivery and hassle-free returns, as well as 12 months interest-free payment options, also to help make things a bit easier. I hope you found this video helpful and have a better idea of which Sony TVs are best suited for you and your home. We've got a lot more content coming out soon, so make sure you subscribe to catch all of that. Here's the QR code now, so you can check out all of the TVs mentioned in this video, and I'll also link everything below in the description for you. Let us know in the comments which model you liked. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon.